Welcome back to Transportation Development. We're talking about Charleston County government and how it provides to our community various kinds of road projects, intersections, pathways, bicycle pathways, all of those wonderful things as a consequence of the transportation sales tax. And those of you who are in business and the like, you're very much aware of that, and it's working for us. That's the point that we're making here. Those dollars that come into this community as a result of the transportation sales tax are in fact working for us. And we're talking about one particular project that took a little while to build in 2 phases, Palmetto Commerce Parkway, that's in North Charleston. And I'm talking with the Director of Economic Development, Steve Dykes. Steve has been in this work for over 20 years, and he's responsible for attracting businesses, bringing them to our community, making sure that we meet their needs and providing opportunities for folks in the Charleston area to work and to live and to prosper as a consequence of the sales tax and the work that he does in economic development generally. Before we went to the break, we were talking about an organization that was formed around the Palmetto Commerce Parkway that has to do with increasing and providing even more opportunities for our community as it has to do with the Palmetto Commerce Parkway project. Steve, Palmetto Commerce Parkway Round Table, what is that and how does it function? What's its purpose?
The Palmetto Commerce Parkway Roundtable is essentially a tenants association that was created out there at Palmetto Commerce Park at the request of the businesses who called us and said they really would like to have a common forum to get to know one another and to also track progress out there at the park and to address issues that would come up. So our department embraced that opportunity to form that group, and we've now got 21 of the companies out in that park that regularly attend.
What kind of things do they talk about?
Well, it's a quarterly meeting that the businesses wanted, and it's the kind of thing that's dynamic where we set the meetings in motion, and then whatever's on their mind we address. So, for example, at one meeting we addressed public safety concerns out there, what folks would do at their various businesses in the event of a storm or some type of natural disaster. We have certainly talked about traffic impacts on Palmetto Parkway, plans for the future. We've installed a traffic signal out there just recently, for example, because the traffic dictated it on Palmetto Commerce Parkway. So this is a forum for any and everything that the businesses have on their mind.
There's been a lot in the news here recently about businesses and their concern about roads in South Carolina in general, not just here in Charleston County area, but certainly all over, because these businesses want to function. They want to be a part of the community. They want to come into the community. But they're saying we've got to have roadway system that's going to work for us. I mean, how do you feel about that? What's that saying to you?
Well, I feel passionately about it, and I couldn't agree more with them, and I think that we're at a tipping point in the state of South Carolina at this time, at this very moment. As you know, the General Assembly is grappling with that issue, as is the governor, and we can only hope that they can come to a consensus and get this addressed sooner rather than later. From
an economic development perspective, how important is infrastructure in a community?
It's absolutely vital. You cease to operate without it. And again, what concerns us going forward, and I think it concerns economic development peers of mine statewide, is just what happens when you get to gridlock and you get to the point where you've got too much traffic on your roads, they're deteriorating. This is the kind of issue that can bring about disinvestment in a state. All the good things that we've had happening can then start to reverse themselves if you ignore the infrastructure. So very important.
The dollars have to be there, though.
They do.
We have to have the bonding the dollars, whatever way that is practical and makes sense. We need those opportunities in order to develop the infrastructure. And that's where the sales tax comes in.
It does.
It's an important part of the development of the infrastructure, which then encourages businesses to come in our direction, makes the selling job that you have to do a little less harder, and it works. It's working for us, don't you think?
I
to a large degree?
I definitely do think it's working for us. I think Palmetto Commerce Parkway, as a public investment, is a perfect example. The county over the years has spent roughly $35 million to put a 4-lane road into place out there. But what's been spawned from it is basically $200 million in payroll amongst the 4,000 people that work out there now, along with $5 million in annual property taxes from those businesses alone. So the return on investment is huge with that public investment.
And what's also exciting about that is the fact that we have found, Charleston County Government, Transportation Development specifically, and Economic Development Department, working together, as well as other departments in the county, have found some very interesting ways to begin to connect roadways. And I'm thinking about the interchange of involving Palmetto Commerce Parkway and the airport. What's that about, and how would that work as an interchange?
Well, this is a result of some of the very fortunate things we've had happen in the community in the last 5 years, not the least of which was Boeing operating, on such a big scale near the airport. It became obvious to us and the county leadership that we had to pave the way for the future. We had to make adjustments to the airport entrance. We had to begin to connect Palmetto Commerce Park with Boeing Final Assembly if we were to have widespread success. So some 300 million improvements have been slated, including an interchange at Palmetto Commerce Park and the connection of Palmetto Commerce Parkway with the airport perimeter road, all of which will roll forward between now and 2020.
Infrastructure improvements means jobs, it means opportunities. It's something that's very important in a community. We have to have economic development. We need the work. Our people need the work.
Absolutely
and all of these opportunities are there for us, thanks to the sales tax, the transportation sales tax, and then the work of people like you. Thank you so much, Steve Dykes, for being a part of our program and for doing all this wonderful work for our community and our county. And we look forward to talking with you again very soon.
Well, thank you, Cheryl.
So come back to our program. Hope you've enjoyed the program as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. It's about your transportation sales tax and how we're using it in the way of encouraging economic development. And there's some opportunities for you on the screen so that you can contact us online. And we encourage you to use social media and let us know what you're thinking and what your needs are. Well, that's it for today. We'll talk with you very soon. I'm Cheryl Harleston.